Just as we stocked up and prepared to hit the road, our RV fridge completely failed, leaving us scrambling to save our food. And if that wasn't enough, our sweet pup Dora Bean suffered a serious injury, turning our week into a full-blown emergency. RV life isn't always sunsets and campfires. Sometimes it's about surviving the setbacks. Let's get into it. Why is my RV always broken? This week we had 2 major setbacks before we hit the road in just 8 days, and we're gonna take you along with those. And oh, by the way, we have to fix the awning, so let's do it. Okay, we're getting ready to fix our awning, but the truth is we don't really know what's wrong with it. We guess, based on zero expertise, that it might be an electrical issue. So you can open your awning manually. We're going to start there and see if any of the electrical components have come up detached. So one of our awnings has been broke now for about 5 months, and when we go to hit the button on the control panel, it just flashes like 5 times and flickers. And like we said, we have no idea what's wrong. So first thing we're gonna do is get up there and look at it and see if we can find any wires that are disconnected. Oh, these are like metal. Not really sure how to do the manual extension. The video that I watched was a slightly different model, so we have a little investigation to do. Oh boy, I lost the screw, and you can't not put the screw back in, and your awning will open going down the road. There's no way that screw was the only thing holding it. You should just be able to move it. Is that what the video showed? Yeah. Yeah, there's not even a screw on this one. So that's a screw I just took out and dropped down there. What was that? I didn't. It sounded like the screw, but I did. I don't know what you did. I didn't touch it. It was you. Well, I can see the wires are still attached. Yeah, but the wires go all the way down here. Yeah, but I'm looking at the connection. Okay, now that I have lost the screw that holds it all in place, we have to figure this out before we leave here in 8 days. So we're gonna try calling the medic. Who, by the way, in the beginning, when we first bought our RV, we got a lot of comments about how everything was gonna go wrong and we made a poor choice, all this stuff. And we knew a lot of things were gonna go wrong. That's why we went to RV Tech School. And what I will tell you is that the company that makes pretty much every part for every RV, no matter the brand, is in fact a medic. So take it up with them, which is what we're about to do. She goes, "Do you want Brinkley's number?" I'm like, "Oh, sweetie, I have that number." I'm like, "Sweetie, I got that number." Like most things, sometimes they get worse before they get better. So we now have a second problem on our hand of fixing the awning. So apparently this awning you can't manually extend out. I guess some you can, this one you can't. She said it could do more harm, which we definitely don't want to do. So this might be something for a tech or a little bit more experience and knowledge to help. But now we have to at least fix the problem, the new problem we created of taking that screw out and then dropping it down the track. Okay, so things are never as easy as I think that they should be. So we are heading to the hardware store. We have to pick up a couple tools, and we're gonna get a screw that I dropped it down there to replace it. And it turns out you have to get a tech out here to replace this awning, or to look at it the way it is. It's probably the motor's gone bad. So, you know, that's where we are. So we're heading out to Harbor Freight to get the replacement screws, which was already on our list to go there. We need to get some steel wool and some new bungee cords to tie down the bike, and potentially a multimeter. We're gonna see what the costs are, so we can potentially troubleshoot some of this stuff in the future. So let's go. So at the start of this video, I mentioned that we had 2 major setbacks this week. That does not count the awning that you just saw us struggle with. What was that first one? Our fridge totally died. Just when we had it all stocked up, here's what happened. We got up this morning and I went to feed the dogs breakfast, and I opened the fridge and I'm like, why did the lights not come on? Then I shut the fridge real quick and then touched the surface buttons, and I can't get anything to light up. The fridge is completely off. When I checked though, like in the freezer and everything real quick, everything was still super cold. So it happened recently. We got a lot of food in there. So we're starting with a reset of everything. So I turned off 50 amp, I turned off the battery disconnect, which there's debate whether the battery disconnect really kills enough of the battery juice if it's hardwired to the battery. So we're gonna give that a few minutes and then power everything back on. Fingers crossed. I called Brinkley and they walked me through the hard reset again. We turned off the 50 amp, the battery disconnect. We gave it 5 to 10 minutes. Made sure that there was no power running to the rig by flipping lights. Make sure there was no like solar drip of power. Also then check the GFI outlet didn't trip, the breaker, none of that had tripped, and which we had already checked that. And so there's no response from the fridge. So we got to determine if it's a fridge issue or a power issue. So they give us a list of recommendations. We found a mobile tech and I made a call, and we've got a mobile tech that should be out here in 90 minutes to investigate the fridge. So hoping everything stays cold between now and then. We won't open it, and hopefully this is an easy fix and we can fix the fridge versus needing a replacement fridge. And we only have just a few more days, few more weeks here before we need to hit the road. And you know our freezer's full of food. There was one ice cream sandwich I had to eat before it didn't melt. I figured I would just drink the coffee, so I'm like eating fruit and coffee and ice cream sandwich, all the weird stuff that I was like, didn't seem worth to take it down to the kitchen, but didn't want it to go to waste. So blueberries, coffee, and ice cream sandwich on this crazy day. That's my breakfast. Well, this has been a stressful day. So on top of the fridge, we got up this morning, Dora acted like she was hurt or something. I feel like when she jumped off the bed, she hurt her legs, and we were kind of keeping an eye on her, and she was kind of limping around, and we just kind of kept her comfortable. We're gonna observe because she ate, she went to the bathroom, like she was fine in that way, but she just seemed like she was in pain. Then when the RV techs got here, she got excited and I don't know, moved funny again, and then she was just in so much pain. So the RV techs got here. Sydney then rushed off, took Dora to the vet, and me and Miley were here with the techs. So Dora's at the vet now. I'm getting some x-rays. Poor baby, I hate that I'm not there with my girls. But the fridge, they pulled it out. Looks like it's a circuit board on the fridge. So, but Lippert was like, it was going to be a week to get that part. We tried to overnight it, and they're like, well, we can put it in overnight, but we don't know when our FedEx comes. They don't have a regular FedEx pickup. So I'm like, well, can you take it to FedEx? So then I called Brinkley and worked with Brinkley to get them to overnight the circuit board. I saved the food. I got everything out of the freezer in bags. Luckily we keep those grocery bags up to the deep freezing fridge at the clubhouse here. Eileen and Wyatt came. I texted her, I was like, oh, I hate to bother you. You have your grandson. Can you come help me? Because I didn't have any way to get to the clubhouse. I didn't have the wagon. It was in the bed of the truck. The ice chest was in the bed of the truck, and Cindy took the truck to take Dora to the vet. So Eileen came over. I look up and I see Eileen and Wyatt come around on the golf cart, and they came in. We loaded everything up. They took it back. They put it away. Came back, got the second one I went up with them, put away. They offered ice chests. There's ice up there, and it feels good that I'm glad this happened when we have community and people around us to help us out, because I don't want to lose all that food. So Sydney and Dora are on the way home. So she's doing good, pain meds and getting comfortable. X-rays look good, so we'll have more update on that. And we're waiting on the update for Brinkley to get everything from the tech so they can get that part overnighted to us. So we saved the food, but how long can we go without having a working fridge? Ooh yeah, girl, put on that lesbian lingerie for me. So of course our fridge is out and all of our food is up at the clubhouse, and it's like in the 30s here. It's cold. So bundling up to ride my bike to go get some groceries out of the fridge so we can make breakfast. And of course the dogs are out of food, so we gotta cook their chicken. Yeah. It's so windy out here. Alright, so I'm over here at the kitchen to get our food, and I've got a list here. So we need to get the cauliflower, and Sydney makes her own garlic parmesan dip, so we gotta get that. The dog's breakfast, which is 2 eggs and a pepper, chicken bouillon to make their rice, as well as if we have some ramen today, we like to add it to that, as well as then a thing of dog chicken, because we gotta cook for them today, so even though it's gonna be a hassle, everything gets cooked, I gotta bring all those containers back up here, but they gotta eat. Well, I got a few extra things. This bag's gonna be heavy, and I rode my bike over here because in RV life, you gotta take any exercise and movement that you can. So would have been easier, yeah, to drive the truck over here, but I'm all for getting the exercise and getting the movement because I don't know what else I'm gonna be doing today. Okay, so Sierra Mobile RV Repair was phenomenal, wouldn't you say? They were fantastic. So I spent the morning getting a hold of Brinkley and with Catherine over at Sierra, and they had to get all of the warranty and serial number information to Lippert, so everything would be covered. We got all that handled. They were out here by 2 o'clock. It's 2:30, and the fridge is on. We got everything taken care of, and thankfully everything was under warranty, so it won't be anything out of our pocket. And once the fridge gets chilled, then we'll stock her back up. All right, let's go get our groceries. 39 out, and while we ordered winter gear, we haven't busted it out. 39's cold. What a crazy 48 hours that was. Felt like forever not having our fridge and just kind of threw off our rhythm, but so thankful to have it back working, and we got all of our food back in there. Yeah, and bonus, I told Mandy that when we got into the national park, it would mean like there's no access to restaurants and things, and that I wanted to have Taco Bell one more time before we went there. And so with the fridge being out, it was the perfect excuse for me to get that last Taco Bell. Probably the only Taco Bell I'll have all year is usually the pattern. And it was good. I got Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Yeah. So it's funny how without the fridge, it was just like, you need the fridge. It threw off everything because we didn't want to cook too much because we didn't have anywhere to store. We had to run it back. So even though it was about 48, a little over 48 hours that it was off, it felt like old. Yeah. Of course, it's cold out, so, yeah. But we're hungry, so we're gonna eat. Yeah. So that's what happened with our fridge. The other big setback had to do with little baby Dora Bean. So I know you guys didn't see much of me in this week's episode, but did you fill them in on Dora at all?
A little bit.
So when the morning that the fridge went out, Dora also got off the bed and got hurt pretty bad. So that morning we knew when she jumped off the bed, like she got out of bed before I did. Mandy and Dora got up and out. And when I heard Dora land and hit the floor, it just sounded weird. Like whatever was happening, it just sounded weird. And so then Mandy took her right outside and came in and said, she's not walking right, she's limping. So I got up real quick and checked her out, and it was clear like she did not want to use her back legs. She was like sitting on them funny. So I got her comfortable and was snuggling with her. I was worried about her. I get really like worried. These pups have saved my life. I mean that in the most literal way. And they're 10, so you know I'm like a helicopter mom when something's wrong. And so she was snuggling. We were realizing that the fridge was broke. Mandy stepped up, took care of that, was awesome. So Dora hadn't really moved much, and so when the RV techs came in to take a look at the fridge, she got excited and wanted to greet them, and I really wanted to see her move. I wanted to see how it went. And she jumped up to greet one of the techs and just let out this scream of pain. And then I picked her up so quick and was cradling her to me, and she was just whimpering and crying like a sob. And let me tell you something, I've seen this little pup get her eye gouged out by like a squirrel and not fuss, not whine, not come need my attention, not make a yelp, not cry, nothing. And then so when she was like crying and really hurting like that, I got so scared. So I got on the phone. I had to call 3 vets before I found one that could see her in the area. That's always the trick when traveling, is finding a vet that you can trust, that's affordable, that's available. So I raced her to the vet office, which is where I was for most of this episode, and they took her back when they got there, they could see she was in a lot of pain, so they gave her an injection immediately for the pain. And then when they took her back for the x-rays, I could hear they were so sweet. It was a great experience. We're actually, before we leave here in the next few days, we're going to take them all back for a second checkup on her and to just get their annual stuff done. That's due in about 8 weeks. We're just going to get it handled because the vet office was so great. But they took her back in for the x-ray, and there was the vet who was a little bit younger than me, a very sweet woman, and then 3 young girls who were like young vet techs. I could just hear them through the wall because they were in the room next to each other, about telling her like every 30 seconds how brave she was, how cute she was, how good she was, like just showering her with love during that 30-minute x-ray period. And so when the vet called me back into the x-ray room to come look at the x-rays, Dora was high as can be, smiling ear to ear because she was so like enriched with love. She came over, she said hey to me for like 2 seconds, and then was off to explore the rest of the vet office. She was moving again from the pain meds, and it was a strained muscle or a sprain or something. It definitely seems to be muscular. Her x-rays wouldn't even let you know that she's a 10-year-old dog. Everything in the hips and the joints looks stellar. So she's been on an anti-inflammatory and a pain medicine the last couple days, and she's doing awesome. We appreciate you guys. We had to run into Home Depot because Harbor Freight only sells tools. We must have just really wanted to go there or something. We got everything knocked off the list except for that little screw. Seems like it's a specialty screw, so we got a little magnet that we could reach down in there, and we're gonna try to fish it out. If not, we're gonna have to try to hit up an RV dealership because we're leaving in 8 days no matter what. And
we got to get that awning screwed down.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going anywhere. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right, so we got this tool. It's magnetic at the end and lights up. So I'm gonna go back up on the roof and on the slide to see if we can fish down and if we can see the screw and if we have enough room, if we can recover the screw because we couldn't find it at the store.
Yeah, it's gonna be a special order screw. Ooh, sorry, Bean.
Here we go. This magnet just gets stuck to the sides. Oh, see nothing.
Okay, one more little repair.
This is a little repair we noticed on the little what's this thing called? A little hooky guard that catches the door.
I don't think that's the official name.
It's this guy, where the door latches in. It became loose and the door wouldn't stay shut.
Yeah.
So we noticed.
Which on travel day, that'll be a problem. We'll break that glass, those mirrors if we don't lock it in.
Yeah, so it didn't hold. So Brinkley sent us a new one, so we're gonna get that swapped out. Oh, it looks like it's a family project.
All right. Whiskey, what are you doing? I think only the O-ring was easier.
Oh yeah, that one holds good. It's like you can tell it's brand new. So we couldn't recover the screw for the awning, so we're gonna search. But I did run into one of my buddies that I met here at the RV park, who's an RV tech, and asked him about it. He said he might have one in his truck. He'll be back tomorrow in the park for a job, so I'm gonna check with him, check around with some RV dealerships, and see where we can locate this screw so we can get that awning back in tight so we don't have even a worse problem on our hands, especially on travel day.
Because of course the screw that I took out is the screw that holds the awning from unraveling. So, but I will say this, I couldn't even push it open with all my might. So, but still.
Yeah, but 60 miles an hour going down the bumpy freeway.
Yeah.
We're not leaving without it.
No. What are you two bunchkins doing?
Oh, that snaps in real good.
Real good.
That feels a lot better.
Fridge is good to go. Dora Bean is as healthy as can be. We tried to limit her as long as we could. She ain't having it anymore. We're figuring out the awning, and we are 1 week away from hitting the road.
Yup, and we have one more big project tomorrow.
Yes.
So join us next week as we tackle that big project, wrap up all these loose ends, fix the awning, and get all packed up and get ready to hit the road.
We'll see you soon.